Live from the hills of Pocono, it's Thursday night, and that means one thing. It's time for the Grill Masters, Average Joe's Sim Racing League. Welcome in here tonight on Green Flag TV, and we are ready to go racing at Pocono Raceway. Welcome everybody, my name is Derek Watson, and we're happy to have the Grill Masters, Average Joe's Sim Racing League on. So I am here up in the booth, got Christian Hill pressing the buttons and making things happen in the background, but it's looking and sounding a bit of a big chaotic night. Making some changes tonight with Discord being down, so we'll see if we do get any driver interviews. We'll see how technology plays along this evening as the night goes on. But here we are, a big 2.5 mile facility, 3 very unique corners, and a big tricky triangle up ahead. Look at this, 2.5 miles, 3 corners. This place was built back in 1971. I believe the building cost about 118 grand at that time, so a very different valuation from today. 55 miles an hour is your pit road speed, one of the fastest we're going to see all season long. And the banking in the corners goes from 6 to 14 degrees, depends on what corner and what track we're mimicking in that corner. We'll talk about that as the night goes on. Well, it's been a busy season here for the Average Joe Sim Racing League, and here are the top 20 in points. It feels like that's gotten closer between 1 and 2, between Michael Harrington and Michael Weaver. Terrence Murphy's pretty far back in 252 and P3, and then Blake Ward has now a 2-time winner in the series, has John Sheen right behind him. Stephen Blevins, Jonathan Dominics, Blake Hewlett, Willie Smith, and Fred Chase in your top 10. Then Larry Blair, Jason Rushing, Brian Cook, Art Milne, Bridger Webb, Todd Ingersoll, Justin Day, Austin Guerrero, Joshua Holt, and Mike Presley round out your top 20. So there's still a battle on the left side of the screen for some point spots, whether it be 1st or 4th and 5th or on down, but lots of good battles to happen here in the rest of the schedule. Speaking of the schedule, let's take a look at that as well and see what it looks like. Here we're on the right side of the screen, August 7th, Pocono Raceway. And then August 14th, next week, Richmond, New Atlanta, the Super Speedway variant, Darlington, Chicagoland, and we'll end the season September 11th at Homestead, Miami Speedway. Well, right now on the track, we are wrapping up qualifying. In fact, qualifying is done. So we can actually go ahead and take a look at tonight's starting grid and see where we're going to line up tonight. On the pole, Michael Harrington in that orange and black car is next to Willie Smith, number 15. Then we're going to have Douglas Ivey, now number 55, a new look for Doug tonight. He's next to Mike Weaver, who's mimicking the old Rusty Wallace car, the Blue Deuce. We went back in to P5 is Josh Rebel in the number 20. He's next to Terrence Murphy in the old Terry Labonte, number 5. Jonathan Dominics in the 49 is next to Larry Blair the second, back in 7th and 8th. Number 9 is Jeffrey Petty in the 24. That bright pink and yellow car is next to Stephen Blevins back in P10, the old mellow yellow machine. Joshua Holt is in P11. Next to him, Blake Hewlett in P12. P13 is John Sheen in that old Busch Light car, and he's next to Dallas Hall in that red machine, number 33. P15 goes to Travis Hunt in the number 40 Tabula Rasa Esports machine next to the 99 and Kevin Burns. P17, Russell Heaton is next to Todd Ingersoll Jr., Todd in the old Hooters machine, in that 38. Bridger Webb in the 66, mimicking the old Dale Jr. with the Liquid Death, is next to Brian Cook in the old Dale Jr. white-based Budweiser machine. Tyler Smith's in the 1 in that very aqua green car next to Blake Ward in the 82. This is P21 and 22. P23 is Austin Guerrero, and he's next to the 78 of Jason Rushing in P24. P25 is Art Milne in that number 15 car, and he's next to Mike Presley in that number 100 blue and white car. Brad G in the number 7, the old Goodwrench machine, is next to Dan Adams, who's changed up to 88 this week. Zach Harden is next to Corey Moore, and we are green flag racing at Pocono. Well, here we go, we're going to dig down to turn number 1. Is a look at tonight's starting grid, top to bottom. So Michael Harrington is going to lead us around here on the bottom of this corner. A big, long corner. Good banking in the first corner. Able to get through this corner, and they do it correctly. You see the top lane will get the run here. have a good momentum. 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 cars, single file, coming down to the tunnel turn. This was modeled after Indianapolis Motor Speedway, very quick corner and a very shallow corner, one you have to manage very well. I see on track, a pretty cool track, 88 degrees Fahrenheit, only 10 a.m. in the morning, sometimes. So a pretty cool track here for this race today at Pocono. And already a caution, number 78, Jason Rushing, I see is not a caution, sorry. It is caution. Caution is out, I do believe. Yes. Let's go take a look and see. I think Todd Ingersoll Jr. may have been involved. Well, I know I saw, I think in the background, Jason Rushing may have been involved in that number 78 machine. So we'll wait and see what exactly caused this first caution. Caution laps here are pretty long tonight, so we'll have time to share some thoughts and get some replays in under these long 2-minute-ish pace laps here at Pocono. Let's watch this here. There's going to be 30 already turned around, and we have to go back a little further. Let's see what's going to happen. Watch that Hooters car through turn 2. Get up and hit the wall. Nope. Travis Hunt. No, we're good here. He dug way to the bottom to avoid Travis Hunt, and then tried to turn back up. And up the hill he went, and in the wall. And you see some more. So there's a 78 turned around. The 15 is turned around. Oh, the 7, Brad G hits the wall trying to avoid it. That's likely into Brad G's night. Watch it again here. This will be a good shot. Watch that orange and white machine. He's going to dig to the bottom to avoid Travis Hunt. Maybe he touches the apron, and that car got unsettled, and up into the wall he goes. Around he goes, and caution is out. Well, we got a bit of a late start this evening due to some software and technical problems on the internet side of things. Discord not playing friendly, had to make a backup plan. So I want to take a step back here and thank tonight's sponsors for this race and get that done under our first caution. We'll start with our first sponsor. We'll show the logo on the screen here, and we'll do our business. That's Growmasters. They are the series sponsor. At Growmasters, we understand the passion hunters, wildlife enthusiasts, and deer farmers have for creating thriving deer population. Their deer mineral supplements are carefully formulated to provide the essential nutrients deer need for optimal health, antler growth, and to help attract them to your property. Whether you're looking to promote year-round health or encourage larger antler development, our products deliver unmatched quality and results. So again, thank you to Growmasters for sponsoring the season as a whole. And then tonight's sponsor, the Throwback 175 for Average Joe's Sim Racing League. The Average Joe's Sim Racing League presents the Throwback 175. Tonight, we honor those drivers who paved the way and blazed a trail for all of us and for our love of stock car racing. From Waltrip to Earnhardt, from Gordon to Stewart, and so many, many more. Our drivers will don the classic paint schemes that meant the most to them tonight for 175 miles of pure adrenaline at the Tricky Triangle. You saw some of those paints in the starting grid. You'll see them across the track in the cameras tonight. Of course, you saw the Blue Deuce, the number 5, the old Terry Labonte team stuck out to me, a couple old Dale Earnhardt Jr., a couple of Dale Sr. schemes, and even more here on the track. Well, you see it behind the logo there that pacing is happening here under caution. This will be our first caution of the evening. And some chatter happening here. Driver chatter will be especially busy tonight. It's the only form of communication I believe these drivers have with one another. Todd Ingersoll Jr., no surprise, was given the end-of-line penalty for this cause of that caution. So he will move to the end of line, assuming that car can continue to move the rest of this race. Well, let's go ahead and take a look at your top 5. It's Michael Harrington up front, Willie Smith in second, Doug Ives in third, Michael Weavers in fourth, Terrence Murphy in P5. That is your top 5 as they run this evening. Well, this is a long night up ahead, depending on how these laps go. Right now, we're looking at about 2 minutes flat on a pace lap. So while these laps will quick tick away here, it can be a very long night depending upon the number of cautions here at Pocono. Of course, last week we had an amazing race at Watkins Glen where Blake Ward walked away with the victory. Of course, a no caution race due to it being a road course, and lots of fun was had. A couple surprises were had, a couple great battles were had as the night went on. We talked about the corners here at Pocono, and I'm going to kind of walk you through those. And so you'll see here the corner we're going into right here. This is turn 2. This is the one modeled after Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Now the third turn up ahead here, you'll see in a second in the camera shot, that's modeled after the Milwaukee Mile. And then turn 1 is Trenton Speedway. So that's why these turns feel so different. Each turn is modeled after a different track, and it provides that different aspect of racing. In fact, I know for some people, we talked last week about how Pocono may benefit a road course driver, a road course specialist, because with all these corners being different and braking points being different, it may feel a bit more natural to a road course driver. Well, here we go. Pace car, I believe, is going to pull in this time by. They'll make that left-hand turn. A pace truck will, and we'll get Michael Harrington to lead us on around as the green flag comes out one more time at Pocono. See him going through turn number 1, 2, and 3 wide. Up the hill they go. Everyone's good as far as I can see. Down turn 1. And already, again, pretty quickly single file up front. Harrington, Smith, Ivy, Murphy, and more down through Indianapolis turn. You have to really lift here and get the car under control. You have to have good throttle control. Looking back to the field, everyone seems okay this time by. On your screen right there, that's a battle between the 2 and the 5. Pretty good run here. And up front, you'll see more happening. Our first lap under here at Pocono, a beautiful 2.5-mile facility. But look at this. Talk about throwback. Look at this beautiful paint here. It's got the gold-crested DuPont-style Jeff Gordon look. The 55 of Doug Ivy. It's a different style of throwback, but it just almost paying homage or tribute to the 24 in all of its years. That's a classic look here for the 55 and Doug Ivy. Doug does paint a lot of the cars. I know he paints for Brian Cook and others in this league, so you can see the effects of the Doug Ivy paint buckets up and down the track most weeks. Doug here trying to make a move on Willie Smith, by the way. That's the car up ahead. We're going to get down here into this corner. Obviously, not modeled after the Milwaukee Mile. Want to get down there as close as you can to that white line. We want to track all the way up to the wall if you can, get all that speed out of there, and you'll make the run down this straight. This straight is exciting for race fans. If you can get 4 or 5 wide down that straightaway if need be and make some moves, you got to be ready back here to get back in line for turn 1. Possibly the longest of the corners, a very just difficult corner to how long it is. You have to be very patient around this track. Here's a look at your top 4. They're all bunched together. And then you see a small gap on back, and then you see that second herd of cars. Glad you're along with us on Thursday night here for the Average Joe Sim Racing League. Happy you're tuning in, chatting along. If you're in the YouTube chat, please let us know who you are rooting for. I see Shelby Guerrero's out there. I saw Leon earlier, Mega Flame, Scott Case is out there. 67 Sports is out there. Undefined is out there. So thank you guys for watching along. Please feel free to root on your favorite drivers. We're trying to answer some questions from the chat as the night goes on. So keep an eye on that chat and how things are progressing. But right now, what's progressing for Doug Ivy is slowly closing that gap up to Willie Smith. But what's not progressing is for Willie Smith is that gap up to the leader. And right now, his gap to Michael Harrington stayed pretty steady, about 0.3 of a second, and pretty much steady back through the field as far as single file is concerned, because only 1 or 2 spots you're going to see any kind of 2-wide racing at the moment. You see Ivy running a bit of a different line there out of the corner. I'm not sure that was on purpose or just got a little too high, but nonetheless gets out of the corner. And now back through the field. Look at this. I mean, look at that big parade of cars. just trying to find a spot, wait for their moment, maybe do a little bit of fuel saving here. Keeping in mind, of course, in the AJSRL, the average Joe Sim Racing League, that the fuel tanks are 50% full. This is the most they can be, so take what you think when you see the drivers pit in a normal NASCAR Cup race, divide that in half, and that's how long a fuel run should last you. There you start to see like a little bit of 2 wide racing, some drivers making some moves, maybe some drivers figuring out who is and isn't faster than one another. A couple passes here through the corner. And right on board, one of the cars stuck outside. He'll be okay. He's going to have a red car to his inside. That's Dallas Hall in the 33. He just made the pass here. It's a great pass by Dallas Hall. And that would have been a pass on John Sheen, by the way, who we're riding on board with. And that white base paint here. Out of turn number 1 here. This is Joshua. Hold on. I had this identified as John Sheen. That is not correct. Okay. So there we go. Okay, there we go. I got my white and blues mixed up. This is Joshua Holt on board. John Sheen is that car to the inside who almost put us up on the wall. Great onboard shot there. So lots of white and blue paints, lots of new paints again this week, a pretty common theme in this league. So there's Tyler Smith on in the back who almost tagged the back end of Joshua. Now we're going to group of 5 cars. Got 3 wide and then 2 wide here. Dallas Hall's got to be grinning ear to ear. They're almost 4 wide. They backed out of it. Tyler Smith looking 3 wide. Can he get to turn 1 safely? This may become a problem. They're back to 2 wide racing. Smith goes in deep to the bottom of that corner. Can he hold the bottom? He's going to drift up a little bit, but I think he's going to be okay. And all's good out of turn number 1. Now you see Travis Hunt getting involved in the battle. That 40 black and electric blue car. That Logitech blue, if you will. Up involved in the battle here. He's going to try and make the pass on the outside of the corner. He's got another 3 wide battle ahead. That was Dallas Hall on the top. Tyler Smith on the bottom, and some car contact possible here. But all is good as we go down the front straight. Now we're back to single file. They worked it all out there down the back, or down the front straight, pardon me. Whew. Austin Guerrero almost got the back end of a car there. He got that worked out. See Jeffrey Petty up top has that iconic blue or yellow and pink machine. Pretty easy to spot Jeffrey no matter where he is on track. Austin's going to pull up top here to get a better run through turn 2. As will other drivers. And hold on, caution's out, and I see a car up top at the back of that shot there, and caution is out for the 2nd time at Pocono Raceway. See what may have been the cause here. So we're going to take a look at a couple angles. I believe Art Milne may have been involved in the caution based upon some voice chatter we heard in the driver's chat. We'll wait for the Green Flag TV replay machine to spool up here to see Barney Flagman. Watch the battle right here. This is just behind where we were watching. Let's see what's going to happen to the 15 here. Going to look to dig up under Austin Guerrero possibly. Is he just going to... Oh, just got in too deep. Does he hit him? I don't... Yeah, he does. Yep. He hit Guerrero. Guerrero got loose. So Guerrero's going to be the one that actually is up in the wall in the back of that camera shot. And I thought at first maybe just the 15 was going to lose it. Just couldn't hold the corner. But he came up and tagged the 45. And the caution is out. Well, caution number 2 on the evening as we work around here. We work on lap number 13 of 70. So here we are in Blakesley, Pennsylvania, served by Interstate 80 and Pennsylvania Route 115. That's the intersection you look for if you want to find the Pocono Raceway. This is a pretty massive track. It's, you know, been fairly popular over time. It is believed, although the track will not say officially, they've never put an official number out, as pit stops can happen here, that the capacity for this track is about 76,000 is what this track can hold. Race control has deemed the contact between the 15 and the 45 to be a racing incident. No penalty assigned for that caution. So pit stops are underway. Let's see what happens. You see a couple drivers already up. The 5 cars up, getting those tires. We saw the right side up. You see the left side for some drivers. Oh, a couple drivers leaving pretty early, maybe fuel only. Some drivers doing 4 tires. This will make it interesting here to see how this works out. Definitely tell you, based upon the pace that Willie Smith and Michael Harrington left their pit stalls, there's no possible way they got 4 tires in those cars. But I know we saw other drivers towards the back who were definitely taking tires and getting everything here. I'm curious to see how 4 tires and no tires compare here at a track like this, where grip in the corner is so important. It just, I think, depends on when the next caution comes out as far as what happens here. If this thing were to stay green, obviously the 4 tires are going to win out pretty quickly here. So we'll have to wait and see what happens. Saw Danny Jackson was pretty bummed out, as was Leon in the chat, about Austin Guerrero getting involved. So wait and see what the story is with Austin. Austin is, I believe, let's see where Austin, let's see if we can find a case. Austin's still on pit road. Let's find out here and take a look and see. The 45. He is back on track. Good news. Remember, everybody in this league has 1 fast repair. So based upon how pristine that car looks, I'm just going to make the assumption that Austin has went ahead and used his fast repair. Now, when you're only working lap 14 of 70, you have to start to question yourself. You know, if that car was drivable, did you make the right call? Because there may be more wrecks tonight. There may be more incidents we need to avoid. But I'm guessing, for how that car looked and how it got slammed up in the wall, Austin may not have had a choice. 1 to go this time by. The cars are double file behind the pace car. So Willie Smith, Michael Harrington, John Sheen, Terrence Murphy, Doug Ivey, your top 5. Michael Weaver, Jonathan Dominics, Blake Ward, Blake Hewlett, and Stephen Blevett, your top 10. By the way, Blake Hewlett, a funny story in the 9, he has gotten some friends who all hang out at a bar to watch the stream together. So I want to say hello to all Blake's viewers who, you may count as one in YouTube statistics, but you are many at the same time. So thank you guys for hanging out and watching on along. There's Blake at number 9. Different look for Blake this week with the Ghost Energy, but a different, that sort of white and green, sort of looks like the old Skull car a little bit, is what came to mind when I saw that white and green on track this evening. Getting confirmation from Shelby Guerrero that Austin did in fact use his fast repair, so thank you for the YouTube chat for doing the investigative work and confirming that. All right, we're going to try it one more time to start a lap 16. The pace truck will pull down and the green flag will fall. We're going to crank up the motors this time. We're going to crank up the volume on the cars. We're going to sit back for a lap and let you feel the noise of Pocono Speedway as we're just about ready here. And Willie Smith will lead us to green flag racing at Pocono. Hope you had fun feeling the noise of Pocono Speedway, getting to ride along with some of the cars and getting that sounds and the sights of the track. Watching the 5-car go on around here. As right now it is Harrington, Smith, and Murphy, your top 5, coming down this straightaway into the most difficult of the 3 corners. And at 5, Terry the Bonding Machine doing a good job riding on around. And look at this, pretty well back to the field. A little bit of squirtiness back there out of turn 2, but overall things are pretty well settled here as we get along. You see Tyler Smith in an aqua green car holding off that kind of Sunny Delight inspired car behind him. You see Smith right now, they're both to the bottom of the track, kind of trying to see if they can make a run happen. Watch out, Blake Ward almost got tagged by Tyler Smith up coming towards the end of the French right there, and Tyler, I think, figured out there was a car up high and was able to make it work. Blake Ward will pull away here through the momentum out of the corner. Smith will get back in line, and then we're going to get a little bit more single file as this run goes on. Oh, car in the wall. I think that was Blake Ward we saw, and we saw a couple cars scattered. There's Travis Hunt also in the wall. Come with simultaneous wall hits there for Ward and Hunt. So those 2 cars are okay, but cause a little bit of chaos and confusion. Dallas Hall stuck up top in the red car there. That's all good back there. And there's a couple cars still scattering around every corner. When someone gets close to the wall, you get nervous. You want to get away from them, so you kind of yank that wheel pretty far to the left, and it just kind of shoots down the track pretty instantly. You make those kind of moves. This right here, this green and white car is Tyler Smith. This is P10, by the way. So you'll see kind of a battle really from P4 through back if you count the cars there. But there's P10 right there and Tyler Smith. He's got Larry Blair the second behind him. Then Blake Hewlett's behind, and on back you see in the top of your ticker board on the left side of the screen. Tyler's missed a few races. I checked in with him, said it's been kind of busy. It's, you know, summertime is a little difficult. So he's back and happy to be back racing. Here's a 49 machine. Now that car is a throwback in a different way in my mind. We're riding on board here. This is Jonathan Dominics. Remember, he typically wears that Canadian maple leaf on the car. This to me kind of just reminds me of the old, like the popsicle blow pop, the red, white, and blue inspired blow pops is what I come to when I think of this car. And I'm sure for different drivers it means different things, but for my mind as a throwback, that's what came to mind instantly, was the old fashioned red, white, and blue blow pops. 49 doing a great job though, and riding back here in P7. He's trying to run down Doug Ivy right ahead of him. And these 2 drivers only about a tenth of a second apart from one another. They're about 3.8 seconds back from the lead at the last time by the line. And hold on, caution's out for the 3rd time. We're under caution once again at Pocono Raceway. Now there's a car, that's Josh Revel. It's going to be parked there out of turn 1, I believe that's going to be. That's out of turn 2, I apologize. There's another car behind him. And so he's got another car behind him. Wait and see what may have happened here. Look on back to the field. They're 3 wide. Up right here in this middle of the bottom of your screen here. There's the 20. Wait and see what's going to happen in this replay. They're going to come through turn 2. Yep, 20 is going to drift up. He's going to make contact with the car up top. And they're both going to go to the bottom wall. Yep. It's going to be Joshua Holt and then the 20 as well. So 2 cars in the wall. Caution is out. We'll wait and get a word from racing coach Josh Revel as well. You see the effects right there. Parked right there. That other car on back not having a good night is Joshua Holt there based on that wreck. Remember, every car does get a fast repair in this league, so if you are pretty badly damaged, you could come around and possibly just get a brand new car. But seeing as how we're not even yet at the halfway point of this race, I have to question if that's the call you want to make, because you only get one. And if you use it too soon, you get involved in the next wreck, then you don't have anything left to lean back on. I heard some comments from the drivers under this caution. 1 second. Okay. Race control has deemed this call to be on the 20. The 20 does come up and get inside of Josh Revel, so that does make sense. 20 car will get an end of line penalty here towards the end of this caution. I was going to say, I've heard some comments from some drivers in this caution. They're having fun. They think this track is a blast. How close you can race, how fast you can get. You know, maybe not necessarily a plate track or a draft track, but still lots of space here to be had on this speedway. Once again, glad you're along with us for the ride here tonight on Green Flag TV. Christian Hill is pushing the buttons behind the truck, making everything look and sound good. I'm Derek Watson up in the booth, having a good time reading the YouTube chats, looking for the support for the 45. I saw some support for the 66 in the chat and some others going on. So if you have a favorite driver, please do go ahead and call them out in the chat. Let us know who you're rooting for. Any questions about the track, the race, maybe some strategy questions you have, don't be afraid to ask those. We'll try to address them as well as the broadcast goes on. And later tonight on the channel, this is our only broadcast for the night, the Speed Cup Series will be here on Thursday night. Nolan Ripple will be on the call for that. Tomorrow night, it is the Bolt Racing League. Nolan Ripple on the call alone. Saturday is... Actually, Friday and Saturday are off this week. Those are all off weeks for the channel. And then we'll come back Sunday for a long race for the Blazing Pedals ARC Series. Myself, Emmett Crow on the call for that. 300 laps at Martinsville in the ARCA car. Be a long night of racing there. The For the Boys car tomorrow league. We'll also race on Sunday night. Monday night, round 2 of the High Tide Racing League. We'll race at Road America for their playoffs, and I believe we are ready to go green here. We're getting ready to go green here. We're still under caution, but they are lined up double file. They are excited. Yeah, Monday night, Road America, round 2 for the High Tide Racing League. They'll be racing the ARCA cars in the second round of their playoff season, and it just goes on and on from there. So happy you're with us here on Green Flag TV. If you love the content, please do make sure you subscribe to the channel so that we can see you're happy with what we do, and then you can also see when the channel goes live for any numerous amounts of racing. Over 45 broadcasts in the month of August on the channel here for Green Flag TV. Well, Willie Smith, Michael Harrington up front. John Sheen's up to P3 with Terrence Murphy next to him. Michael Weaver, Doug Ivy's down to 6. And many, many more. Look at that. That was one of those throwback schemes. It's a play on, it's Bridger Webb. It's a play on the old Budweiser Dale Jr. number 8 car. There's Bridger, yep, with the webcam. Bridger, works at a theme park in Florida. We were talking today in Discord about the heat and the different factors. So thank you to Bridger for providing that webcam footage. Is that an air hockey table in the background? It's got a dome on it, but I don't... Maybe it's more of a table hockey thing. Yeah, we'll have to ask Bridger about that. It's some kind of hockey table in the background. Hey, when you live in Florida, I guess you got to think of cool things whenever you can find them here. But that Liquid Death Machine looking pretty good in the 66 here. One of the many throwback schemes on the track tonight. Michael Harrington and Willie Smith are up front here. They are right behind the pace truck, and they are ready. We're going to do this at the start of the next lap here. We'll be ready to go at the beginning of lap 25. Wait for Barney the Flagman to drop the green flag. He does, and Michael Harrington has quite the jump. And you see the bottom of your screen, the leaders, and you see some moves be happening here. Looking back to the field, does everyone get through turn 1 okay? I believe they do. Everyone looks okay there. Up and down the field. Still double file for the first lap after the restart here. Everyone trying to find their spot. Going to come down to Indianapolis corner. This is a difficult corner to take too wide. It takes a lot of patience, a lot of awareness, a lot of precision. Everyone does well so far. Look at Doug Ivy making the pass there. And now pulls up to complete that pass. That'll put him up in the field, back to P3 where he was earlier. That was a pass right there on John Sheen in that old Rusty Wallace inspired car. And that was a Busch Light car. That may be more of a... I know drivers before, Kevin Harvick. I was going to say Kevin Harvick inspired, but many drivers in NASCAR have done the Busch Light look. So, this depends on which driver you prefer in that car. But the 01, that looks nice. The colors match. The numbers moved forward. It's legible. It's a good look there for John Sheen. I like that look there. One of our many throwback looks tonight. You can see he's kind of backs off the corner, decides it's not the corner. He wants to make the move on Doug Ivey. And around it, they're going to go again. And boy, John Sheen got close to that wall on the outside. Thought for sure he was going to tag it, but does not, and keeps moving here at Pocono. Then you see in the bottom right of your screen the estimated speeds of John Sheen up in 5th gear. You see the RPM indicators, the speed he drops. Look at that, almost 198 down to about 138 through the corner. So 60 miles an hour dropped in that first corner. And each corner is different. Stick in this view here. Watch how different it may look here for turn 2. It's a different corner. It's a quicker corner. He's only about 188 in the corner. Drops it down to about 160. And then right back in the throttle. And watch here. This is the corner model out to the Milwaukee Mile. Let's see how much time how much speed he drops here. Starts at 179. Up to about 139, 140. And then back on the throttle he goes. And that's a lap around the Pocono Speedway. The track, of course, has the slogan, "What turn for?" And of course, commonly a joke because most NASCAR tracks, almost every oval NASCAR, has 4 corners except for this one. It has 3, so the "What turn for" meme or slogan has been used here pretty commonly for Pocono. Now, there has been a bit of a push here in current years for some drivers to believe there are 5 corners at Pocono. That's right. So what you do, we'll walk you around the course again in a second here. This has come from Ryan Vargas, one of the NASCAR Xfinity drivers, one of the more popular iRacing members. So we'll watch it again here and watch. I'll walk you through what's going to happen. You're going to go down the front straight here. Now, this is how they count it. I'm not sure that I buy into this, but what they're going to do here is you're going to come down this long straightaway. And remember, this one here is modeled after Trenton Speedway. Some people would refer to this as 1 and 2 right here. So you do turns 1 and turn 2, typical NASCAR style counting your corner. Come up here, down the straightaway with all the trees. Then you come down here into turn 3. We all agree on that. That's good. We agree this is 1 corner. So you come down here, this is Indianapolis corner, very narrow banking, just like you find at the Brickyard on Indy 500. Then you come down one more time and you enter into turn 4, Milwaukee Mile. You come out at turn 5, and if you believe, I guess this would be the pesky Pentagon if you buy into the 5-corner strategy. Let's go back to P15. This is going to be Russell Heaton here. This is going to be a battle on the track, and this is maybe our closest battle between 2 cars, and see how close it gets right here. That's that DeWalt car modeled after the old Matt Kenseth scheme. It's more like a mix of like a Matt Kenseth paint scheme and like a nice, like, you know, like a racing Corvette with the stripes. It's kind of an interesting look. I'm not against it, just maybe different than what you're used to seeing. Just kind of like a again, it's a Matt Kenseth. He had racing stripes almost on that car. Very blank sides for that DeWalt car. Kind of like that look there for the 12. He's trying to back now to battle with Blake Ward. This is Russell Heaton behind Blake Ward. Of course, Ward got his 2nd one of the season last week at Watkins Glen. Himself and a Gulf Coast Racing teammate came in, I believe, 1-2 in that race. On back, that's Tyler Smith. Tyler, of course, has seen his ups and downs this season. His teammate Justin Day has won a race this season, so Tyler would love to match that success sometime before this season is over. But if you look at the top of your leaderboard, by the way, you're not missing anything up front. It's almost 0.8 of a second from first to second place. So I know we're not watching the lead, but I promise you're not missing anything. But look at this train of cars. That's Travis Hunt right there. That's P10, that blue car you saw in the front of your camera shot. And then on back, you just kind of see the line of cars, people waiting to make a move. There's Hunt. He's got Austin Guerrero behind him, Blake Hewlett, Jeffrey Petty, Blake Ward, Russell Heaton on back. So hold on, caution's out again as I say all that, and we'll wait and find our source of our fourth caution. But these drivers need to go all around to find the pace cars. They just crossed the start-finish line. Well, there's Brad Jean, the 7, pretty slow. That's usually what we call evidence or a clue to the cause of the caution. And boy, all that smoke back there is our second piece of evidence. So, yeah, if we were playing Sherlock Holmes or Professor Layton or what have you, that's Phoenix Wright for your investigation game. You say we have some evidence here. We'll wait for the replay machine to spool up and see if we're correct. Watching the back of your screen. There's that 7 up top. And yep, I can already tell you it's going to be right about here in a moment. That's okay. We'll wait. Oh, there it is. That's contact between the 7, and I think that's Fred Chase next to him. Let's see. I believe that's going to be actually, I said Fred Chase. I think I'm being told now in my ears from racing. It may have been the 15 car, Art Milne. Yeah, it is the 15. Yep. It is Art Milne. And Milne's going to come up. He's going to tag the 7. And Milne will be assigned the fault by race control. End of line penalty. And Brad, oh, you know what? You don't want to hit the wall at Pocono. But I have to say, of all the wall hits we're going to see tonight at Pocono, that was okay. That's something that I could possibly see. Maybe you could get away with not having to fix just instantly. So we'll wait and see. Race control is reminding some of our drivers tonight not to lay back in the pace line. And it kind of affects everyone as far as getting on pit road correctly, affects the starting lineup. So race control is making a point tonight of talking about that. And I think I'm being told, or it's confirming. Yep, confirming again, the 15 was at fault. Just double checking that through voice chat. As a couple of drivers had some questions, the 15 will get the end of line. The 7 is going to come down and likely fix that car. That concludes our moment of this caution to find out who is at fault. The 15 will come down as well, likely fix that car. We are working lap 34. We're basically just at the halfway point of this race. Like I say, full tail pit stops have happened here while we were watching that replay, by the way. Everyone's come down except for Willie Smith, Michael Harrington, Doug Ivey, Michael Weaver, Terrence Murphy, Josh Revel, Jonathan Dominics, and more, all down pit road. Now, Willie Smith pitted under the last caution, lap 28, so he's opted not to pit this time. You see the 15 going up, getting new tires on the right side. Now he'll, in a second, go up and get the left side tires as well. And do we just have a moment live? But the 66 on pit road, actually. The 66 just got turned on pit road by the 100. So this is going to be wild. See if we can get a replay of this before we go green flag racing again. But that was a moment, and there were some questions by race control about what happened, and some debate between Bridger and Presley, I believe. Watch this here. This is 66 of Bridger Webb on pit road. He comes off of his stop. He comes all the way out. And I don't know. It was the 100 of Mike Presley. I don't know what I think of that. I'd have to see it again because, like, Bridger Webb is supposed to pull up. Is Presley just going faster? What happens here? Does Presley pull down? Let's see. Yeah, Bridger, I think, turned him. I think he saw the car up front turning to the right, and he wanted to do the same. And on around he went. So Bridger will have that moment here, and he'll end up being at the back of the line because he was not across the scoring line yet for iRacing. So he'll be moved to the back of the line just when he's going to exit pit road. So it looks like no call from race control. I think it's been kind of determined that it's just an incident on pit road, and I agree with that. You just kind of let it be, and I don't think Mike did anything wrong. Mike was just driving down pit road, and just a difference of speed, a difference of not being clear, got Bridger Webb turned on around. Michael Dunce in chat says Harrington's leading the pack. That Whiskey Myers at number 6 looks fire. That's from Michael Dunce in chat. Little David's painting was rooting on the 38 car of Todd Ingersoll. Still lots of support for the 66 and the 45 in chat. So thank you for everyone for hanging out in our YouTube chat. And here we go. This is going to be Willie Smith leading this group. Remember, he pitted last time, not this time. So about 5 lap newer tires for Willie Smith, Michael Harrington, Doug Ivey on back. We'll see if that matters as this race goes on. We'll focus here on the lead for this restart. And we'll see what happens here as we just are now past. In fact, at this lap, we have completed the halfway point of this race here at Pocono Raceway. Barney the flagman has the flag. We'll wait for the call. It happens right here, and we're green flag racing. Oh boy, come close to some contact there between the 5 and Willie Smith, but all is good here. They've got it worked out for the moment. That Mountain Dew Code Red machine is going to dig in the bottom of turn 1. He's going to make the run. He's going to try to track back out here out of 1. He does pretty cleanly. Has the run now down this long back straight full of trees, just using those cones on camera left as your braking markers. That's what the drivers will use. Down to turn 2, a little bit of lifting, maybe a tap of the brake up out of the corner. Now they head for turn 3 this time by Willie Smith's up ahead. Michael Harrington's back in P2. Terrence Murphy is back in P3 for the moment. There's the battle for 2nd and 3rd on your screen. It looks like Doug Ivey must be in that battle. He's trying to get up there, as is Michael Weaver. And on back a little bit, Jonathan Dominics and others. Everyone's still involved in this battle for the most part. Lots of cars still on the lead lap. I believe more than 28 cars still in the lead lap as of this point. But look at this here. Willie Smith right now coming on around, as is Michael Harrington, Terrence Murphy, and more. Bit of drafting going on here, leaving Terrence Murphy out to dry. Smith and Harrington working together on that outside lane, pushing Smith up ahead. And again, through turn 2 and a clean run. We are in the Average Joe Simerson League, sponsored by Grill Masters, working our way around Pocono Raceway to start a lap 38 this time by. You see the ticker up on the left side of your screen. Now counting number of laps to go. That means we've crossed the halfway point. It means we're moving our way through this race pretty quickly here. And whoa, bit of contact by there, I think, for Tyler Smith in that yellow and orange car, and all worked out well. Up for Murphy got into that yellow line, and that car's gonna hit the wall, out of the wall. That's what happened. Oh, hold on, wrecking it back. That's, oh my God, that is the ghost car. That's Blake Taylor. Oh, there's a bunch of cars now. Look at this. I see multiple cars involved. The DeWalt car, Bridger Webb's involved. Tyler Smith may be involved. Bridger's trying to see if that car can still move. Waiting for the DeWalt. He might be better off to back it. Nope. Okay. Wow, that is beat up. That may not move, honestly. If he hasn't used his fast repair yet tonight, this may be the spot where he has to use it. Yeah, it's going to move. It's actually faster if he can get it around to drive it versus having to tow. He'll mow some grass, pick it maybe 20 bucks on the weekend, you know, picks up a side gig. The car's not going to move. You might as well tow that on around, buddy. Yep, it's stuck. That's going to be a long tow back around for Bridger Webb. Well, I think we start looking probably at Tyler Smith first. I'm not sure if that's going to be the cause of the caution, but I believe that's going to be. It's going to be on the 9, actually, is going to be where we're going to start according to race control. They're going to deem this wreck to be on Blake Hewlett. So we'll pull the replay machines and look there. There's the 9 up top. This is out of turn 2, in the middle of turn 2, coming out of turn 2. And he hits the wall and gets bumped by the 01. He's going to hit the inside wall, and then the 01 gets loose, and he gets hit by the mellow yellow car. They spin around. Austin Guerrero gets involved. Kevin Burns gets involved. And it looks actually okay for now. There's some more of them. There's Bridger Webb coming in. There's that white Budweiser car involved. Maybe not too bad. There's Blake Hewlett trying to get on around. So I bet if we watch it from the Bridger Webb camera, we're going to see a very wild ride. We're watching for Blake Hewlett first here. Here's Bridger Webb. We're gonna see probably a wild wreck form up ahead. See the smoke, and yeesh, comes in hot, trying to figure out where to go. Thought he saw an opening in it. Oh, I'm going to what? Had he stayed? Oh no, never mind. Never mind. I started to say had he stayed a little bit more right, he might have made it through the middle of that hole, but then there was a car parked sideways. So it did not matter. There's a 20 car parked down in the bottom. He's going to get trapped in there by Bridger Webb. And more. Jeez Louise. Watch this. So what's going to happen? This is the start of it. Blake Hewlett's going to get in that little hot. He's going to scrub the wall up top. He's going to get a bump from the 01. It's John Sheen. Sheen does nothing wrong. He's keeping his own pace. Boy, Travis Hunt just missed out, as did Blake Ward. And then on from there, Tyler Smith. I remember I said I thought he might have been involved. I think he's going to get loose because of the avoidance. He tried to avoid it with everything he had. You see him up ahead there. He's going to spin it around. And this likely is the big one at Pocono. There's Ingersoll in a 38 car. Let's watch from Ingersoll's point of view. I want to see this here. This will be exciting to see since he was involved in that. So he's going to see the wreck forming up ahead. The top lane looks clear. Top lane looks clear. Not clear. Oh, he just overcorrected. It would have been clear, I think, and then he got tagged in the back as well. But I think had he just kind of maybe a little bit less input, he might have been okay. Well, right now the cars are lined up behind the pace car. We got 1 lap to go. Let's get in a quick commercial break. We'll be right back for the restart here at Pocono.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. visit iRacing.com.
And we're back here at Pocono Raceway. The long pace lap continues. As you see, we got the whole commercial break in, and we're just now to turn number 3. Glad you're here with us here, as we're now quickly counting down the laps here. Derek Watson on the call here for the Average Joe Sim Racing League. Glad you're along with us. Christian Hill pushing on the buttons, making me look and sound good down in the booth. But here we are out of turn number 3. Willie Smith, Michael Harrington, Terrence Murphy, your top 3. That pace track pulls down. We'll wait for that Barney the Flagman iconic wave right here in front of the camera. It's right there, and let's go racing. Oh, hold on. Oh, up the hill. That was wild by that Mountain Dew Code Red machine. He's still wrecking. And caution's going to be out right there. Boy, oh boy, that's one of the Gulf Coast racing machines. And I don't know if he got some contact or if that card has snapped loose. We'll wait and see what happens when the replays prove the evidence. But I suspect it may have been a bit of contact, accidental contact from the 5 car that may have wiggled the 75 loose. Let's watch it again here. Here's the restart. That Mountain Dew Code Red machine was leading. Comes down in the corner. Watch it right here. The 5 digs in the corner a little deeper. Yeah, just a little bit of contact. Nothing purposeful. And the 75 is going to wiggle. And I thought he had to save 2 or 3 times. And then out of the corner, still 3 wide. He's got it loose again. No one hits him. He doesn't hit anything except for the wall. And eventually here, the caution will come out. See it one more time here. Watch this be a better angle to see what the 5 does. The 5 tries to dig in the corner a little deeper and just gets right in the yeah, it's barely got him. I mean, this, honestly, for all the wrecks and contact you're going to see in a race weekend and in this league or any league, that's not intentional. That's just someone trying to make a move, maybe an ill-advised move, but a move they thought they could make there. But again, with the laps counting down, you know, now we're working lap 43, only 20 some laps to go. You have to make a move somewhere. You have to be willing to, especially on restarts, when this track spreads out so quick and so wide, you have to try to make a move somewhere. And so I don't blame Terrence Murphy per se in that 5 car. Willie Smith might, when all is said and done. Well, let's take a look through the YouTube chat and see how things are going. Bridger Webb has joined us in the YouTube chat since that car is done for the night. Says he wants to thank everyone for rooting on 66. Sorry he couldn't put it in a better show. Some of the fans say you don't need to apologize. So Bridger had a great night. So Scott Kazan's out there rooting on Austin Guerrero and many, many more. All right. Looking at your top movers, by the way, tonight, Dan Adams in that number 88 car has ditched it for a different paint scheme. It seems to be doing well. He's up 17 spots. Blake Ward is up 16. Art Milne's up 12. Travis Hunt's up 11, as is Brad G up 11. So if you're the 88, you might want to keep this paint scheme. If some drivers are very superstitious, they think certain paint schemes or certain whatever, tracks, paint schemes, whatever they can use, socks, gloves, are lucky. You'll see Todd Ingersoll going on around there as the lucky dog. I'm listening to the words of race control here, just kind of trying to determine what's going to happen here. So race control is looking at it. Race control has not yet made a decision. And I believe that it's going to be deemed a racing incident due to a little bit of net code involved, I believe is what I'm hearing from race control. So as of now, there's not been a penalty assigned. That's the assumption I'm making. That's not been the official words exactly. Race control has mentioned the word net code and being unsure, but yeah, no penalty assigned here for the 5. can tell you 75 Willie Smith is not happy. He does not. Willie Smith is not understanding. He said, I got turned. That's the words from Willie Smith. And I would probably tend to agree with that. I don't know. Boy, if you're Willie Smith, that's heartbreaking. You just, nothing you could have done different there. You protected the bottom. You ran the line. You did everything you could, and someone dug in there deeper, below the racing line, technically, got you loose. And I don't know. Sometimes, as a driver, we try to take a moment and we try to learn from things. We try to say, hey, from that moment, what could I take away from this? What could I learn? What could I do better next time? And Willie Smith, if you come back and watch this broadcast, I don't know there's anything you could have done different there, buddy. You protected your line. I don't know. So here we are. We're back to 1 to go. Look at the track temp. It is up as the day progresses, by the way. It is now past noon virtual sim time, and the track is up to 106 degrees Fahrenheit. What does that mean? It means the track's going to get a little bit more slick, get a little bit looser. These cars have a harder time out of the corners, and it could get more exciting as these last 26 laps count down in this race. Well, I can officially confirm for you now, no call on this incident by race control. They're going to not penalize anybody. The 5 cars are going to keep his spot in this moment. So it's going to be Michael Harrington, Terrence Murphy, Michael Weaver, Travis Hunt, and Blake Ward in your top 5. Doug Ivey's also up there as well. Looks like your race leader in Harrington has chosen the inside lane. So that's the lane he's going to start from here. We'll come through turn 3, and we'll wait for them to get all the way through the corner, and the pace truck will pull down. We'll have that moment. Of course, in this league, time advances at 2 times speed. That's why it's already past noon, despite the short amount of time has passed. Causes the temps to go up and what have you. Here we go. Let's get ready to go racing. Michael Harrington is, because he's going to take the green flag, and he's going to lead us in turn number 1. Now to turn number 1, down to turn number 2. Everything's going pretty well. Looking at 2, 3 wide racing in the back here, trying to scatter and find lanes and find anything they can to make a move happen. Travis Hunt way up top in that black and blue machine. He's going to scrub the wall. He'll be okay. Nothing bad's going to come from that. He's going to get passed by Blake Ward and others. And we're all good. Oh, hold on. Dallas Hall out of the wall, into the wall. Out of the corner, and that was a hard hit. Now, I'm surprised that car is still moving in a straight direction. He's definitely down on speed. You can feel it instantly for Dallas Hall in that red machine, but he smacked that wall hard about a turn number 3. Him looking back up front. All is good. Harrington, Murphy, Weaver, your top 3. Doug Ivey and Jonathan Dominic right at your top 5. Look at the back of the field now. Still 2 wide racing back here. Going to, again, what I feel to be the most difficult corner to be 2 wide. This is the Indianapolis corner. It's hard, just like it is at Indy, to be 2 wide. See, ooh, boy, the pass there. That's a little close. Burns got past. Look at him now. There's 4 wide. Oh, boy, the metal yellow machine. Jeffrey Petty's up in there. And they're trying to work it out. Austin Guerrero's back in there. He's pushing 3 wide with Jeffrey Petty and Willie Smith. Willie Smith probably driving a little bit of anger right now. Willie Smith wants to get back up front, wants to get his spot back. With 22 laps to go at Pocono, that's a heavy, heavy task. All right, now we're taking a look here at the 20 car. This is Josh Revel. Revel's been involved in a couple incidents here tonight, but running a pretty good run. The FSparts.com machine currently running back in P16. He's going to make a pass here on Dallas Hall, and that should put him up a spot, I do believe. And it's going to be a close pass. It did not go as clean as I thought it was going to. Hold on. Up here, yellow flag is out. We have a caution somewhere. And no, back there. That's the 100 of Mike Presley. Unsure if he's going to be the victim or the suspect in this case. We'll wait and find out, but I can tell you he's definitely involved in the making of this caution. Mike said on the chat, not clear, so not sure who he's referring to. I guess we'll find out in a moment here. Let's wait and look at Mike here. Mike's going to be right below 87. It's going to be Brian Cook, I believe, in the old Dale Jr. inspired machine. That old Rabbit Hole podcast machine. Mike's going to come up and just clear himself. Not clear. You're right, Mike. You weren't clear. Across the 87. 87 did a good job, kept himself, I think, off the wall for the most part. Mike will go down the track, and then the 87 will just go right on by. Well, as the laps start to tick down, these cautions are feeling more frequent here. Let's watch it again if we can. I think we'll get a couple different angles here to see what happens. This would be a good shot to see how not clear Mike was if we can find the incident here. See, slow it down. He just comes up. And this should be pretty simple. And this should be one of your simpler race control calls of the night. If this turns out to be anything other than on the 100, there you go. We can confirm that one. It is on the 100. He'll be end of line. So if that was anything other than on the 100, I was just going to probably have to eat my headset. That would have been baffling. That would have been anything other than the 100. Well, the 100 will be at the end of the line. He'll probably likely to come down and get some repairs done on that car as well. Can tell you right now, pit stops are underway. Michael Harrington and others at the front of the field are on pit road. Likely for the final time tonight, Terrence Murphy, Michael Weaver, Doug Ivey, Jonathan Dominics, Blake Ward, Travis Hunt, and others all down pit road. Watch Mike come down here. He'll now be assessed that end of line penalty, but he'll need to get some repairs done. There's the rest of the cars on pit road. We'll wait and see how they line up off of pit road. Jeffrey Petty in the front of your shot. There's other cars on pit road. By the way, did get confirmation in the YouTube chat, by the way. It is that look for Bridger, or that machine behind Bridger, pardon me, was a bubble hockey machine. That's what I was told. A bubble hockey table was the exact words I got. So, there you go. Well, the cars have left pit road. Let's take a look here back on track. And now let's take a look, see how they lined up here. Jason Rushing, by the way, has... So a couple cars did not pit here. Let's start with that story first off. The 78 last pitted back on lap 34. He's now just kind of trying to camouflage inside the pace truck. He has not pitted since lap 34. That would have been 16 laps ago as of this point. Austin Guerrero last pitted back on lap 44, the last caution. So he stayed out. And then Blake Ward, John Sheen, Tyler Smith, Michael Harrington on back all did pit this time by. So if you're one of those cars who just pitted, what you're concerned about now, yes, not many laps have been run under green, but anytime you get older tires in front of newer tires, it becomes a concern, right? Does the leader spin the tires on old tires? Does the leader have the grip and the speed on the launch? Does it bottleneck the field? Is it a clean restart? Those are all things you begin to wonder about if you're John Sheehan, Blake Ward, Tyler Smith, Michael Harrington, or others. One to go this time by. The lights on the pace truck are out. We're double filed here on the track. You see Blake Ward there again. The two-time winner has moved up way far in the points, and we'd love to have another great night here in the points and see if he can make his way into that point discussion. A few races left here. We're going to Richmond next week in a short track. That'll be fun to see how that plays out. We got the Atlanta Super Speedway still to go, Chicagoland, and more before we crown a winner. So still lots of race action to happen here as that championship talk continues to grow. Well, if you're Blake, you'd love to make it 3 times this season, I would have to think. That would be a strong argument for why you deserve to be the champion, and we'll see if he can make that happen. The number of laps we'll have left will be 19 to go at the line when we take the green flag. Again, Rushing, Guerrero, Ward, Sheen, and Tyler Smith, your top 5. Remember, it's got to be 3rd place on back. Blake, Ward on back to find your newest set of pit stops, new tires, more gas, what have you, is where we stand. Jason Rushing, 16, maybe 17 lap old tires when we go green. We'll see if he has the tires or if he has the gas to make it. Those will be the questions we're going to answer here in what likely and hopefully is our final run of the evening. All right, well, the pace truck's going to pull down. The field's in the hands of Jason Rushing. He'll wait for the green flag, and here he goes. Then there goes the green flag, and we're back to racing. Rushing quickly pulls up in front of the field, does a pretty good job on that restart. Gets up in front of Austin Guerrero, leads the field on around. Back a side-by-side run for P3, P4, John Sheen, Blake Ward. Then on back through there. So some 2 wide racing, people trying to find their way in line. Blake Ward's going to pull up in line. He'll pull up in front of Tyler Smith. And they'll come in here offset 3 wide into turn 2. And I thought for sure John Sheen was going to brake too hard and get in the back of the car in front of him. Oh, hold on. Austin Smith loose. Austin Guerrero, pardon me, loose. Caution's out. I said Austin Smith. I meant Austin Guerrero. He's got loose out of turn 2. Spun that car around. And I don't think everyone made it out of that okay. We're going to wait and see Willie Smith repairs required. John Sheen, I believe, is going to have some required repairs. Blake Hewlett, I thought I just heard Blake Hewlett say, I'm done. Kind of waiting to confirm that. But boy, oh boy, I don't know if Rushing got a bump or if that car just snapped loose out of 2. But it looked pretty wild all of a sudden, and it just clogged up out of turn 2. So we'll load up a couple replays. Let's start with the main look. Here's what's going to happen here. Watch Guerrero in the 2nd place car. It's out of turn 2. And, oh, you know when he got up side by side with Rushing, he makes contact with Rushing on the doors. And then that car started to go to the inside. He snaps it back around. Oh, boy. There's Ward to the wall. There's Sheen to the wall. You see, oh, the 2 cars are going to get in the wall. Doug Ivey barely avoids it, and it's just going to get worse from here, guys. Travis Hunt is involved back there. There's, cars up the track. Dallas Hall was involved. We saw a second ago that orange and yellow car was going back up the track. That likely caused the track to clog up a little bit. Remember, Willie Smith still needs to get involved in this somehow because he has required repairs now. That's going to be... There's Brad G in the 7, parked sideways. So let's watch this. This is the beginning of it again. This is John Sheen up in the wall. But watch on back. We focus reach up on that orange and yellow car. There's a big hit right there. And there's a car up there. So, all right, so we're just going to watch a couple of views here. There's Willie Smith in the middle. For the moment, that Mountain Dew car looks okay, and then it's not. Boy, oh boy, that 73 car. What was that? I've never seen. What was that? Watch it again here. It's just. That car combusted. I don't know how to call that. That might make a highlight clip somewhere. I don't know how to call that because I've never seen a car combust before. There's a little bit more contact for Willie Smith. Boy, oh boy, Brad G, watch on back in the 7. He thinks he's clear. He tries to go to the bottom. He clips the grass and then gets to 15. Travis Hunt spins around trying to avoid it. Wow. Well, I thought the last trek was the big one. This may have been the big one. There's the 20. He's back alive. I don't. Uh, Josh Rebel like went to like the Nether in Minecraft and came back. I don't know what he did, but he's okay. That's according to Bridger Webb in YouTube chat, he thinks Thanos snapped right there, and that's what happened to the 20 car. That's a good one. I like that. Yeah, Thanos snapped. It just got the one guy, just the 20 this time. So everyone else survived the Thanos snap, but yeah, the 20 did not. I have no words for that. Wow, I'm sorry guys, I'm a little still perplexed by what we saw. We're coming around here, getting everyone lined back up, getting some pit stops done. Can tell you just as a note that Jason Rushing did pit this time by the way. So he has surrendered the lead to Michael Harrington, Tyler Smith, Terrence Murphy, and others. I'm now being told in my ears that maybe he may have gone into what's called the upside down from Stranger Things. So yeah, that's a first. I've been part of iRacing for a long time. Never seen that. Well, glad you're with us. Glad you get to see that moment. I suspect that's going to get clipped a couple times, and wow. Yep. Here we are. Now we're going to start lap 56 when we go green. Lap 56 is 70, 15 to go this time by. Remember, it's Harrington, Smith, Murphy, Dominics, and Hewlett in your top 5. Austin Guerrero, by the way, I don't think surprise was given the fault by race control for that wreck. So assuming that car can continue, he'll be given an end-of-line penalty. So let's walk through a couple stats here. We start out tonight with a 30-car field, 30 cars registered. 28 took the green flag, 23 still on the lead lap. So 23 and 28 still on the lead lap this evening. Well, let's see what happens now. Michael Harrington is going to lead us around. Tyler Smith wants the lead. So does Murphy, Dominics, and others. The pace truck will pull down. Will be 15 to go at the line. What happens here? Let's find out, because we're green flag. Made it safely to turn 1, now down to turn number 2. A bit of a lead right now for Michael Harrington. He's got other cars trying to run him down. Murphy, Smith, and others, and up in the wall we go again. And boy, oh boy, that's going to be a yellow flag in the back of the field. There's Brian Cook involved. Austin Guerrero's involved again. Oh, hey, that's a car there. Jason Rushing has to get some required. He's right parked up there. We'll wait and see what happened here, and we'll see who caused what. All right, let's see what's going to happen. Watch the back of the field here. There's Rushing in the bottom of the track, that gray car. And what's going to happen up ahead? There's a battle up ahead. It's Brian Cook up ahead, maybe involved. Oh, 15. With Travis Hunt. I wonder if Hunt was involved up top earlier. Let's watch up top here, that black and blue car. Is he going to be slow? Because something's going to cause... Let's watch the 87 here. Yep, look up top. Travis Hunt and Dallas Hall get together. That's going to check up Hunt. Brian Cook out of the corner is then going to try to avoid Travis Hunt. He's going to come down into Jason Rushing, come down into Austin Guerrero. All hell's going to break loose. 15 goes up into Travis Hunt, and we're under caution. Watching here, this will be Travis Hunt here. Let's see what happens between him and the 33 of Dallas Hall. Hunt tries to get, well, wow. I mean, Hall got in the wall, and then Hunt hit him, and then oh my gosh, Jason rushing up on 2 wheels. Yeah, I don't know. We'll wait and see what happens with race control. Here comes the call. We'll be on the 33. I actually think that's probably the right call. The 33 starts all that by getting in the wall and creates the chaos. Well, let's do this. Let's step back one more time. We're going to get our final commercial break in. We'll take you all the way to the checkered flag after this. Be back in a moment on Green Flag TV.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Welcome back on along here. Under caution still here at Pocono for the Grill Masters Average Joe's Sim Racing League. For the Average Joe's Sim Racing League Throwback 175. Of course, you're seeing some older paint schemes tonight across the field, honoring some of our drivers' favorite drivers in the real life series. Of course, you saw a commercial for iRacing. It's a busy month and a busy quarter for iRacing. The NASCAR 25 game now not too far away from release date on consoles. Not too far from our next season update for iRacing. More special events on the calendar and more. So always more happening here in the world of iRacing. But right now in the world of this Pocono race, what's happening is we're 1 to go. Michael Harrington, Terrence Murphy, Jonathan Dominics, Blake Hewlett, your top 4. Of course, we mentioned earlier, Hewlett's started to grow a bit of a fan base in real life. There's a watch party that watches along every Thursday. So we'll say hello to his fans out there. And thank you so much for watching along. Jason Rushing now has to still get some repairs done in that car. So we'll see if he makes it back out here as the night goes on. Well, the laps are going to keep ticking down under the cautions. These long pace laps, 2 minutes apiece is what we're looking at here. So about 6 to 8 minutes per caution. We'll go green with 11 laps to go. So at most, only a couple of cautions left that could happen. We'll we find ourselves at the end of this race or in overtime, depending how things go. Getting a beautiful look at Blake's car there. From what I can tell, what I can gather, that car inspired by the old Skull paint schemes, old chewing tobacco. Just kind of remade into a modern look with a modern sponsor. The 55 of Doug Ivey paying tribute to Jeff Gordon. That 88 car up top, I haven't quite figured out what that's supposed to be in reference to. I'm assuming it's a throwback car as well, and I just can't place the old paint scheme, but a different look, typically the Green Bay Packers car for the 88, so we'll see how that goes. But right now, coming through the final corner, let's go and watch the lead here. The pace car will pull down, and in a moment, Barney the flagman will go ahead and do his job. He'll wave that flag vigorously, and we'll go back racing. Oh, hold on. Oh, that's up top, and he'll save it, I think. Nope, not going to save it. Going to get hit by Jeffrey Petty, and cautions out. Petty now on the top of that's Brad G, maybe, that I saw Petty get into out of the corner, and we'll go under caution. boy, oh boy, oh boy. Well, it's getting messy as this night goes on. Gonna wait and see the replay. There it is. That may have been some awful, what referred to as net code, meaning some dirty error and maybe some bad prediction by the software. And now watch this. I thought honestly Blake had it saved. Right about here. Now the problem is he says off speed. He's off speed, and then the car loops around again, and he gets hit by the 24. And then eventually the 7 is going to get up here as well. Mike Presley gets a piece of it. And oh, the 7 is drove in the back of Jeffrey Petty. And the caution is out. Watch it one more time from the epicenter of this caution. Let's see what's going to happen here first. Here's Hewlett 9. I mean, it's net code, but I feel like that contact was inevitable. I feel like they were headed there. Maybe the software just predicted a little early in that moment. So 55 gets the 9 loose. Watch it one more time from this angle. Here's the 9. He's going to hit the 55 is where he's going to come here. And yeah, I mean, that's definitely some dirty air. That's some net code. I think it's inevitable. I think that means that they were going to make contact anyways. It just, the software predicted early. Race control has deemed no penalty for this caution. So no one eats the penalty for this. The big wreck on back and 55. I mean, yeah, I don't know. Larry Blair II will be your lucky dog this time by. You'll see him come on by in just a moment here. There he is going on around that 73 machine. Since he is the first car 1 lap down, gets the reward of going on around the field and getting a lap back. And if I take a look at Larry Blair, this will put him from 5 to 4 laps down. So the benefit of that, as this race ticks down and more cars, you know, if there are more cars wrecked, maybe he picks up some more spots because of this. Every caution, he'll be the person, you know, in position to gain a lap here, unless some weird things happen. Because at 5 laps down, he is the first car a lap down. Some drivers now asking one another in the driver chat if they can get an assessment of their damage, kind of want to know how the car looks, and that's a different thing for drivers. Some drivers don't want to know, because sometimes you don't know, you can't think about it, right? You can't go, oh, my car's broken and I can't figure out why, and you know what may have happened there. Some drivers do want to know. They want to see how they can, you know, counteract whatever damage they may have. So we'll wait and see. See Larry Blair still going around a long way around here to catch the field after you are the lucky dog. All right, well, waiting here for everyone to get caught up here, and Michael Harrington leads us on around behind the Irish Pace truck. It's got Murphy, Dominics, Ivy, Burns in the top 5. Dan Adams up to P6, by the way. Stephen Blevins up to P7. Looks like you're at the bottom right of your screen. These are the top people up the field this evening. Dan Adams up 22. Blake Ward up 14. Kevin Burns up 11, as is Mike Presley. And then Tyler Smith up 8 spots on the evening. Well, this time by, when we catch the green flag, we're going to be 7 laps to go at Pocono. So the laps are still ticking down little by little. Your favorite driver likely still in the battle. Happy here along with us for the views here on the YouTube channel live with us. Thanks for hanging out, having a good time, chatting with one another. So again, that last caution caused between net code between Doug Ivy and Blake Hewlett. No penalties handed out by race control. So we're here through turn 3 one more time. Or through turn 2 that time, sorry. That's Indianapolis corner. down into turn 3 we'll go here. Remember, next week we go to Richmond, the less than 1 mile track. So that'll be a very different style of racing from what we see tonight. Probably lots more close contacts, maybe some beating, some banging, some bump and runs may happen. A much different racing style than what you'll see tonight. Here we are in turn 3, where I thought we were earlier. And we're going to go green here in just a moment. Pace car is down. Michael Harrington waits. Michael Harrington gets the green flag, and let's go racing. Now, the past couple restarts have not been great. Been pretty early contact in them. Let's see what happens this time. Harrington seems to be good, as does Murphy and Dominics. Their top 3, they're pulled away a little bit here. The rest of the field, a couple cars way up high. Is that Doug Ivy I saw up high there in that gold car, the DuPont inspired machine? Oh, hold on. Car. And who was that? Was that? I didn't see who that was in the car. I just saw a couple cars pointing sideways. Don't want to misidentify the number. Let's wait and see here what comes of that. That's Doug Ivy. But there was a car that was inside, I'm pretty sure, who already disconnected, or we'll wait and see. But I think it was Austin Guerrero who was inside. This is going to be a wild ride, I think, for Doug Ivy. I can tell you Travis Hunt's not happy. I'm not sure if that's going to be related or unrelated to this caution. Wait and see. So there's Travis Hunt. And up ahead of him is Doug Ivy. Ivy's going to try and stay off the wall. Guerrero comes up. Guerrero came up and hit him. And then that must have been the end of the night for Guerrero for incident points, because he is gone from the race. Doug Ivy in the wall. I would love to see that from Austin Guerrero's point of view, to see what happened. Maybe if he got loose or touched the apron, or that's a wild ride. And we're going to wait and see what happens with Austin Guerrero here. He just, I don't know if he just wasn't aware there was a car up there or what may have happened, but I don't know. We could also maybe see what happened to Travis Hunt. Travis Hunt was not happy when that caution came out. Said he felt like he lost a couple of spots. I'm not sure what that may have been about. We'll find out in just a moment here. But here's Doug Ivy in the 55, number 3 wide right here. And Guerrero, I don't know. Looks like he drifted up. Yep. So I think Hunt's concern may have been precaution. I'm not sure. I didn't see anything for Hunt, but I know he was not happy about losing some spots. But I just don't know where we would start in that moment to find what may have happened with Travis Hunt. Well, race control has deemed, of course, the fault will be on the 45. However, the 45 has been disqualified for incident points. So that is pretty cut and dry. Well, we're going to go green this time by, I believe, with either 2 to go naturally, or we're going to be in our first shot of overtime here in the Average Joe Sim Racing League. We're currently 5 to go with the pace lights still on. We'll see when they turn off here. We went green with 7 to go. So I'm curious to see when the lights turn off here. If they turn off this time by before, we would go green with 3 to go. And then anything after that would put us into overtime here at Pocono. Glad you're along for the ride with us here and having a good time here on Green Flag TV. Remember, at the conclusion of this race, you can hop over and watch Nolan Ripple call the Speed Cup Series. That's still happening over on the other side of Green Flag TV. So you can see all that action happen. Well, let's rack up your top 5 here. It's going to be Harrington, It's going to be Murphy, Dominic, Burns, and Dan Adams in the top 5 here. By the way, that Speed Cup Series, they are where we were last week. They're going to be at Watkins Glen. So they're having a pretty solid race over there. They're just started back on lap 6. So we'll be a little bit in that race before we're done. We'll hop you over there once we are complete here tonight. But first, we're going to wrap up Pocono. We're going to be 1 to go this time by. We'll take the green flag with 3 laps to go. So here's what's going to happen. We're going to take the green flag. If we can make it all the way around 3 times, we'll finish the race. If we cannot, we'll get our first shot at average Joe's overtime. We'll see what happens here. I have to say that history's predicting the last 25 laps that probably going to overtime, but we'll wait and see if we can keep this clean and green for 3 laps. A couple stories here. Michael Harrington's been back up front. Terrence Murphy's still up front. There may be some drivers unhappy with that, including Willie Smith, after Murphy. Some may believe Murphy caused a wreck earlier that was not penalized. Kevin Burns up here, Jonathan Dominics and Stephen Blevins in your top 5. Dan Adams having a great run in P6. Blake Ward, last week's winner's back in P7. He has a shot at this. Josh Holt, Josh Rebel, Michael Weaver back in P10. So lots still going on here as this race unfolds. Well, hope you're comfortable. Hope you get your popcorn ready, your beverage of choice, in your comfortable seat. Maybe got the feed pulled up on your phone, your computer, your big screen TV, what have you, because I think it's about to get more exciting before the checkered flag falls. This time by, the pace truck will make that inevitable left-hand turn down to pit road, and we'll see who can win this race. 2.5 miles per lap, 3 miles. We've got 7.5 miles of racing to go. If we can stay green without another caution, can Harrington hold on? Can Murphy win? Will someone else surprise us? Let's find out. Because right now, Barney the Flagman's about to put us back under green flag racing. Let's go at Pocono. Far up out of turn 1, everyone looks good. Car's pretty well spread out. Up out of 1, okay. Leader Harrington gets down the back straight. He's got Terrence Murphy on his back end. Kevin Burns up to P3. So there'll be a little bit of movement and contact back there. 3 wide racing. All is good so far. Up through turn number 2. Okay, there's one car. That's 88, I believe, down on the bottom of turn 2. Not sure if that car is slow or just maybe missed his braking marker. Into turn 3. Here we go. Let's see if we can make a lap round. Looks good so far. Back to the field. Tyler Smith, Travis Hunt here battling with Dan Adams in the 88. They're going to look good. We're going to complete a lap. We'll be 2 to go this time by. You see Dominic's trying to make that move on Burns, the 99. Oh boy, Dominic's made up a lot of speed on Burns right there. Got a little bit of a bump draft even down this long straight. They got a car behind them, and Stephen Blevins, who'd love to be involved. They're now 1.5 laps to go at Pocono, and this could get interesting in the battle for 3rd and 4th. Looking further ahead, not missing anything yet. Still a half a second gap between 1st and 2nd. Harrington has the lead over Murphy. That is not settled yet, but we're coming around this time. White flag was not going to wave because the caution just came out. So we're going to have our first shot at average Joe's overtime. We'll wait and see what caused that. There's Travis Hunt. We'll see what factor he plays into this caution. I believe it's going to be the 40 and the 9 involved. We'll wait and see who caused what and who made what happen. We'll wait for the replay machine to pull up here and we'll walk you through it. Let's see what's going to happen here. Watch back. That's Travis Hunt in the black and blue, the TRE machine. He's going to pull down the corner. He's going to maybe overdrive it. He's going to get bumped by Tyler Smith. I said the 9 earlier and I was wrong. It's going to be the, I think the 1 of Tyler Smith. That's in slow-mo, so it looks a little more dramatic, but that's Travis Hunt trying to overcorrect and come back up on track. He's going to hit a car. They're going to hit more cars. cautions out. I'd love to see that full speed from Travis Hunt's, because that car was savable on it. I mean, we'll see in her full speed. It could look very different under that method here, but watch this. So he's gonna get bumped right about here. That car's savable. That you just don't pull up that hard. I'm sorry to say it that way, but you can't do that. So that's why Race Control has put this caution on the 40. He'll be end of line for this first overtime restart. That is on the 40, day by day. Well, here's how overtime works. We're going to take the green flag, and then we will go around. One of two things will happen. Either we're going to take the white flag because we race around clean, and then all bets are off. Whatever happens, happens. We finish the race. If that doesn't happen, if we can't get back around, we'll take the caution again, and I believe we'll get one more attempt at a restart here to get it done under green at Pocono. So time is still limited. We'll wait and see what comes of this race. By the way, Larry Blair, I believe, was involved in that last caution, so he would not be your lucky dog. I'm honestly not sure if there will be a lucky dog in this caution. Larry Blair would have been it, but I'm pretty sure I saw him get some contact in that last wreck, so not going to be him. There's Michael Harrington. He is your race leader. He's got Terrence Murphy right behind him in that 5, that Terry Labonte machine. There's the 6 in that car, by the way. A black number on a black car is hard to spot, but it is there for Michael Harrington. And then on back from there, Kevin Burns, Dominics, and Blevins. Say what that battle between Dominics and Burns was tight, by the way, into this last green flag run. I thought for sure they were going to try to bump a little bit, and they did not. So congrats and kudos to those drivers. Well, nothing like a little overtime to make the night spicy. Just keep it going and see if we can find a winner in this race eventually. Glad you're along with us for the ride. I think the drivers, some of them are antsy. Some of them said, hey, let's just go one to go this time. Some want to get it over with. Some want to maybe just go ahead and lock in their spot. They're happy with where they are on track currently. They'd probably love for the race to end right here. Let's get a look here. What does this bumper say? I've been kind of curious all night. I'm trying to read that. So can you stop moving? Can we get word down to this car and stop moving? It's Kevin Burns, I think. Let's see. Yeah, it does. East Texas Rock and Roll. It was like it's in a bad vision test right there, where like you just, you know, maybe if I'd been like the eye doctor and had to cover one eye. I don't know. Maybe it'd work better. I don't know. But regardless, we got it figured out. It said East Texas Rock and Roll. So that's what that car said. Oh, never mind. Well, had my producer just found that look, I'd have known what it said. Jesus. Like a test of patience around here some days. All right. Well, we are double file. We are one to go. So we are going to go green this time by. It's going to be Harrington, Murphy, Burns, Dominics, and Blevins. Top 5. Again, Travis Hunt, given the end-of-line penalty, he'll go to the back of the field due to his involvement in that last caution. Of note, we are now going to start working on lap 69 and 70. Cars last pitted about 20 laps ago, so everyone should still be good on fuel, tires, and other things. Let's get ready. All right, I think we're just about ready. Going to get through turn 3 here. Blake Hugh, that also given it end of line, by the way. That may have been requested due to damage. I think, I'm not sure. We'd have to follow up on that later. All right, well, here we go. Can we stay green is the question. Michael Harrington's hoping so, as is Terrence Murphy and more. They're going to lead us around here. The pace truck pulls down. We'll get the green flag to wave from the hands of Barney the Flagman. We are going to go green flag racing at Pocono. We'll big jump already for Michael Harrington here. If this is the last restart, he aced that. He made a great move. He is now down through into turn 1, 2x2 racing on back. Blevins in the middle of that corner, got it up there okay. That looked pretty close, and the field's looking good out of turn number 1. Now down to the back straight into turn number 2. There's a couple battles happening on track. That's Blevins, that's Burns, that's Joshua Holt up there. All trying to make moves down to turn 2. All's good so far for Indianapolis corner. Oh, buddy, Blevins. Oh, I thought he was going to get in the back of the car. He did not. And now down to Milwaukee Mile. Come around this time by. This is how close we were last time. Can we get the white flag? Let's find our leader of the race. Can he get there? I think he's going to. We're out of turn number 3 now. White flag is in the air. One more lap. No matter what happens, it ends right here. Here's the move from Dominic. He wants to make the pass. He wants to pass. Let's see if he can get around Terrence Murphy for P2. He peaked, but he didn't back out of it. He'll wait until later in this lap to make that moment happen. One more time around. Harrington's trying to walk away. The rest of the field battling one another. Oh boy, there's a bit of a wiggle on that orange and white car. That would be an Ingersoll, I do believe. And up front, we're looking okay. Let's see our battle up front. Can Dominic catch Murphy? That's the question in our minds right now, because Harrington's pulled away out of turn 2. One more corner. Turn 3 is where we're going to happen. So out of turn 3 comes the 6 car. For one final time. Out of turn 3 is the 6 car. He's finished 2.5 miles a lap, and he has won at Pocono. And boy, Murphy just holds off Dominic's. That was a good finish right there for that battle for P2. Harrington may have walked away, but you have to say Dominic's gave Terrence Murphy everything he could ask for and more in this moment. Get some congratulatory bumps for Michael Harrington in that number 6 machine. So congrats to him. Some more bumps coming. There's Kevin Burns in the 99. Kevin getting his little congratulatory bump. I'm guessing Stephen Blevin might do the same thing. Harrington's going to kind of drift, or just kind of coast on around. We'll wait for him to do his burnouts here. Harrington is kind of celebrating, taking in the thank yous and the praise and acknowledging those drivers and those comments. Kind of breathing a sigh of relief after what was a wild, crazy race here at Pocono. Well, here comes the driver of the 6 car. Comes around the track here. Let's wait for the burnouts. Get a big wide shot. There's a good shot of it. Just at the start finish line. Let's see what we can do here. Burns it down successfully here at Pocono. Well, let's do this. We're going to step aside after we're sort of our post-race show with our results, interviews, and more. Stay with us here on Green Flag TV.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Well, what a wild and crazy night it was at Pocono. Welcome back here on Green Flag TV. Thanks so much for hanging out here for the Average Joe Sim Racing League Throwback 175. Well, let's take a look first at tonight's unofficial results. Everyone finished out here. Of course, not a surprise. Your winner tonight, Michael Harrington. He won this race by 7/10 of a second. But look at that gap between Murphy and Dominic's. Less than a hundredth, or less than a tenth of a second, pardon me here. Joshua holds back in P4, Kevin Burns in P5, then Blevins, Ward, Weaver, Ingersoll, and Josh Revel round out your top 10. Going to move back into P11 now. You'll find Dan Adams with Jeffrey Petty, and then Dallas Hall. Look at that gap right there, by the way. That's also close between Petty and Hall. As is back there with Mike Presley in the 100 for P14. P15 is Brian Cook with Travis Hunt back in P16. Doug Ivey, Blake Hewlett, Tyler Smith, and then Larry Blair, your first car, laps down. P21's Brad G, 9 laps down. Then Austin Guerrero, Jason Rushing, Art Milne, John Sheen, Willie Smith, Bridger Webb, Russell Heaton, Zach Harden, and Corey Moore back to your top 30. And that is a look, top to bottom, at tonight's unofficial results. Well, Gulf Coast Racing has been on a roll, and they've had winners for the past few weeks, and they're going to have another winner tonight because Michael Harrington, congrats on the win at Pocono. How did that feel?
Feels good. That was a long race. I was telling Murphy just a second ago, I was running out of ideas on the restarts. I didn't know what else to do. I was throwing the kitchen sink at those guys just to see if I could try to maintain at least a little gap so I could get into one clean. But no, it feels good.
Well, I think honestly, maybe the story tonight would be maybe a tale of two races. At first, this race looked to have some solid runs, and then towards the end, it just felt like it was this restart after restart. Do you think that benefited you to have all those restarts so that you could kind of pull away? Would you have preferred it stayed green? What was the winning strategy?
No, I think clean air would have been big time if the race would have stayed green and kind of played out a little bit. The other thing at the end, it helped me obviously with fuel. I was, I think, a lap short, so I knew that if I got to the leader out front after Jason went to the pits, if it would have went green from there, I would have been having to save. So it benefited in my favor that way. But I kind of hate to see it not really finish under a green flag run. It was a little unfortunate. We probably could have raced it out a little bit better, but it is what it is.
Well, we go from one of the bigger tracks on a circuit to one of the smaller tracks on a circuit next week. So as we move from big track to short track, what's your outlook for Richmond?
I'll do some practice. I don't really think I have a whole lot of laps there, so put some time in. And I like short tracks. Should be a fun track. So yeah, we'll put in the work and we'll see what happens.
Fair enough. Listen, well, I know you got some fans out in the YouTube chat kind of cheering you on. Anyone you want to say hello to or give a shout out to?
Yeah, absolutely. I want to thank Mike Dunce and Kyle Woods and Chris McCormick for watching. Those are some of my buddies from work, and they tune in and chirp me a little bit and whatnot. So I appreciate them for watching, and hope it was a good show.
All right. Well, listen, well, congrats on the win. Go celebrate, and we'll see you next week.
Appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
That is Michael Harrington, your race winner. Next, after that, we're going to talk to one of the drivers who really helped soak in the theme of the throwback 175 tonight, and that number 5, the old Kellogg's Cornflakes style machine. Terrence Murphy, P2 tonight. How does that feel?
Long time no see, Mr. Derek. So it's good to finally finish in the front. I've had some bad luck here over the last 4 to 6 weeks or so. But yep, feels good.
So tonight, I think we have to ask you about the no call. I think I'd be remiss if I didn't ask you. And a bit of a moment between yourself and Willie. Race control needed to be no call. What's your perspective of what happened with that contact?
Yeah, it's tough. I hate it for Willie. We race each other tough every time we're around each other, and by no means did I want to make contact with him. It's so hard to get to somebody once we get going. So on restarts, I'm trying to send it as much as I had. He left that little lane in there. When I sent it in, it didn't feel like it in my car that I got into him, but I mean, I saw him right away in my mirror spin in, and it looked like he saved it. But I hate it for him that it ruined his race, so it's on me at the end of the day.
Well, from tonight, we go to one of the biggest tracks, a 2.5 mile track, to next week, a track less than a mile in length at Richmond. What's the outlook next week?
Good to be going back to a standard oval after what we've been doing here these last few weeks. So excited to turn some laps this week at Richmond and get start catching this lead back up on the 6.
All right, fair enough. Well, listen, congrats on the run. The number 5 car looks like a very great throwback scheme. Be proud of that, and have a good evening.
You too, brother. Thanks.
That is Terrence Murphy in the 5. And now let's catch up with our driver who finished in 3rd, that red, white, and blue machine. And Jonathan Dominics, I first have to ask you, is I couldn't tag it if this was a throwback scheme tonight, was it a throwback? And if so, what was it a throwback to?
No, it wasn't a throwback. I completely forgot about the throwback theme tonight.
Fair enough. All right, fair enough. Well, you had a good run tonight. I mean, you saw in a couple of close battles, you came that close to catching P2, Terrence Murphy at the line, less than a tenth of a second. At one point, you were locked into a battle with Kevin Burns, so felt like you had to race hard all night long.
Yeah, I definitely did. Both of those guys gave me a good run for my money. Michael's just in another league of his own up there up front. But I really liked that battle with Terrence at the end there. We both kept it clean. You know, I didn't push him into the wall too much coming to the line.
So I'll circle back and I will ask about the paint scheme again, though, as I am curious. Of course, most of the season you ran the red and white car with the maple leaf up front. Now you've kind of taken on this red, white, and blue style scheme. Can you explain the scheme to us, what it means to you, why you picked it, or anything of that nature?
Yeah, it's more of a replica scheme for a light model stock racer around my parts town. So I really liked it and kind of created it on GIMP there. That's probably what I'll be running for the rest of the season.
Fair enough. Well, driver's sticking to a paint scheme. As a broadcaster, I'm all in for that. I appreciate that. That's good news for me, I'll tell you that. Well, a great run tonight. Anyone you want to say hello to or give a shout out to?
No, that's okay.
All right, Jonathan. Well, listen, it was a great run tonight. Happy to watch your race, and we'll see you next week.
Thanks.
Thank you. That will conclude tonight's podium interviews. And I think, as we said in our first interview, it's a tale of two races. A clean race in the beginning, a bit of a messy race towards the end. Glad you were here with us. Having a great night. Once again, congrats to Michael Harrington, your race winner. Well, if you missed this race, you can catch this race and every race from the Grill Masters Average Joe Sim Racing League here on the Green Flag TV YouTube channel. Stay tuned. Next up, you'll head over to the Speed Cup Series. Nolan Ripple's on the call over at the Glen. And then next week, the 67 Sports 140 at Richmond. Next week, August 14th, 8 p.m. Eastern here on Green Flag TV. For Christian Hill, pushing the buttons, making me look and sound good down in the production truck, I am Derek Watson saying so long, good night, and congrats to Michael Harrington.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.